All right, guys, we are starting. We are now live. Okay, guys, we're going to get started here in a second. You know what? I don't have the right book in the bottom there. All right, we're going to get going here. Questions, thoughts, judgments, throw them on over. I need to make sure we are live everywhere. Twitter is not working for some reason. Twitter always has problems. I don't know why. Okay, we're going to go.
Why not maximize your podcast by live streaming it? That's the topic Christoph discusses on the Going Live podcast, which is the companion show to the book of the same title. Join Christoph for today's episode, and don't forget to order the book on Amazon today.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate you tuning in. This is episode, I can't keep track, number 9 of the Going Live podcast. And what's interesting about that, it's been so great to share the stories from the book, to do a show about them, to talk about them, to, move forward from that and share value with everyone, and you guys being able to ask questions, get the book early, check things out. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. Really, truly do. So today, we want to talk about a few things. I want to make sure I got my notes correctly here. The first thing we're going to talk about is, hey, thanks for joining Andrea Lynn on Amazon Live. If you're listening to the podcast version, make sure you connect with me on all those different channels. I go live. I live stream most everything. And this one is about my Going Live book that's coming out in March. So hope you pre-order. We're going to talk about what's the best time to go live, audio monitoring, and that's it. Should be a quick episode. Lots of family things going on. It has been a day. I mean, it has been a day, let me tell you. But we can always do better. We can always keep our cool. We can always share stories and move forward from there. Nobody said it would be easy. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Overall, not a bad day. I'm just saying long day. And it's only 3:40. So this is not authentic storytelling. This is going live. And I do appreciate, by the way, I got 8 podcasts lined up on, like 14 podcasts out of like 6 or 8 different countries. So I really appreciate everyone who's supporting my journey for this book on live streaming, how to share your story, whatever. And also, by the way, if you haven't figured this out, guys, there is a surprise at the end of each podcast episode. Not the live stream episode, the podcast episode. So make sure you check it out on the podcast channels, and make sure you listen to the end, because there is a surprise. And I'll hold up my end of the bargain if you make it to the end. Promise. Going Live is the podcast available everywhere. Not sure if it's available on Apple yet. Going Live with Christoph Trapp on Apple. Let's take a quick look. Doesn't look like it's available there yet, but it's available on a bunch of other channels. So people always ask me, what's the best time to go live? When should we go live? What's the best time, Christoph? Tell us the time. Tell us the time. Tell us the time. We want the best practices. And I'm just looking quickly here. What's going on outside? Okay. And let me tell you this. There's no perfect time, period. We find new times. This time now works. That time doesn't work. Blah, blah, blah. It's not about the time. Plus, there is only so many time slots in the day. And when everybody picks 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever, they show up at the same time anyways, right? So on Amazon Live, you can schedule your live streams. And what's interesting about that is everybody picks a round number, or top of the hour, bottom of the hour. And that's fine to an extent. But if everybody does that, you never show up before anybody. So schedule your slot for like 3:48 or 3:58 or whatever. We're not TV. Seriously, why does it have to be top of the bottom of the hour? And this is actually Robin Kennedy from the Email Marketing Show. They kind of put this bug in my ear. And what they said is just pick those times, because everybody would send their email at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or whatever it might be. And they said, pick 7:22, 8:42. So that is truly from those guys. And check out their show. It's the Email Marketing Show. And I don't really talk about email marketing on here too much, but certainly worthwhile checking out. And what time of the day? I mean, what day of the week? I've seen success all over the place. Quite frankly, most of my live shows that are early in the morning, they don't perform as well. Like the 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Central Time ones, they're not quite as successful usually, but there's always exceptions to everything. So here's my rule of thumb. I go live when I have time. I go live when I have something to say. So I had a few minutes here. I want to hop on quickly to record episode 9 of the Going Live podcast. And that's when I went live. I did schedule it. I'm currently a big fan of scheduling live streams. I think it works. I think it helps with distribution. So I'm currently a big fan of that. So I schedule them. I do have an unboxing coming up tonight at 8:06. So let's see, Twitter is not working currently for one reason or another. I don't know why. I don't know what the problem is with Twitter and Restream, but it's not working. So frustrating. But I still would recommend Restream, guys. Restream.io /join/C-Trap can you can get like $10 off, I think, for the package, which I think it's like 50% for one of their packages. So still like them, but I have to remember to uninstall Twitter and then reinstall it, because it seems to be stuck for one reason or another. So I don't know why it does that, but there are all these different things that you have to keep an eye on when you do, and Restream is a fantastic partner. I use Restream. I push from Switcher to Restream to everywhere. Amazon, Twitter, when it works, LinkedIn, YouTube. So pick a time that works for you. It's much more important to get the stuff out there than it is to worry and over-worry about all these different times. Seriously. So find the time that works for you. So for example, I got some family things I got to get taken care of here when I'm done with this show. And then 8:06 p.m. So if you're listening on the podcast channel, of course, this is not that relevant for you, but I'm doing an unboxing of my new iPad Pro. Just got it today. And so I'm going to do that live. And the earliest I can do it is tonight at that time. So if you are watching on Amazon Live, make sure you do indeed follow me so you get notified when I'm opening my brand new iPad Pro. So find the time that works for you. Spend your energy on finding good content that's worth sharing. Important. Not enough. It's way more important to find the content that is worth sharing than it is when to share it. Now, email marketing might be different. You might test things. But what I found on social media is the more you test, the more it changes anyways. So your study finds that you should post at a certain time, and then the social media giants come up with another algorithm, and it doesn't work anyways. So, just do it when you can. The next thing I want to mention on this episode really, really quickly is audio monitoring. So this is less about when to go live, but I wanted to kind of talk about that quickly. I don't think it's a whole episode on its own, honestly, even though maybe it could be. So some podcast and live stream producers, they like to monitor. So here's how that looks, right? So I put in the earphones and I can now hear myself talk. And it gives me a headache. It gives me an unbelievable headache. And I have enough headaches as it is. I don't need any more headaches. So I don't audio monitor at all. What I do is I keep an eye over here and I look on my little thing over here and I see if everything is working, if nobody's leaving comments about, it's not working, whatever. And that's how I do it. Because I can't concentrate if I have to listen to myself while I'm talking. Now, when I'm producing a show, I listen, but they're not listening to the whole feed. They're only listening to the other person. So, but I tell you what, there is some advantage of audio monitoring. There really, truly is. And the reason is that you can hear stuff you wouldn't hear. So, for example, when I monitor it, I can hear the cats meowing in the background, and I couldn't hear that on just, the regular stream. So it's kind of crazy how much you can hear on that. So keep that in mind. That is indeed a thing that is possible. I honestly can't do it. So just something to keep in mind. And that's today's episode. I wanted to talk about quickly when to go live. I wanted to mention audio monitoring and making sure we have those things out of the way. I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? When you go live, what time do you think is best? Email me, ctrap@gmail.com. ctrap on Twitter. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on the topic. And tomorrow's, maybe not tomorrow, but the next episode, we're talking about conversation on lives. How should you handle them? What should you do? And actually, the more I think about it now, guys, maybe. No, that's supposed to be today's episode. I see it. I'm telling you, all over the place. Let's get through this topic quick. I thought we were already, we were kind of breezing through things here. So really quickly, conversations. How fast should you talk? And here's the reality of things. Once I turn this baby into a podcast, people listen at 1.2 times the speed, 1.5 times the speed, twice the speed. Some networks have 3 times the speed. I don't know who does that. That's too fast for me. And some people listen regular speed. I guess some people listen at half the speed. Not sure why anybody would want to do that. But that means that you need to kind of cater to all those audiences. We don't have that available yet for live streams. So I think people can watch and listen at different speeds yet. But here's the thing. These streams are kind of delayed anyways. Not very much, but 10 seconds. So I bet you at some point you will be able to, to DVR them and watch them later. And the reality is, most people watch these on the replay anyways. So it's okay. And we talked about that in the book too, how many people watch the replays as opposed to the live stream. Amazon Live might be the only outlier where more people watch on the live stream than the replay. So keep that in mind. At some point, 1.5 speed, 1.2 speed, whatever, will probably be available on the replay. It's not yet available as far as I know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it will be one of these days, and I don't know why it wouldn't be. But the reality is you can't worry about it. As the host, as the guest, whatever it might be, don't worry about it. Seriously, just talk at the speed, at a normal conversational tone. This is how I talk. And sometimes I think it feels really slow. And then I play it back, and it's actually okay to listen to. Now, could you speed it up? Yes. Do I have to speak faster? This is not talk radio, guys. Seriously, just talk like you normally would. So, okay, but now we got it. That's episode number 9. Episode number 10, we will talk about framing. Some good content in the book about that. Susan Ebitz of the Human Behavior Lab. She joined me on the Business Storytelling podcast to talk about that topic. And, we'll talk about that again. I'll share some thoughts. I've fixed and updated my framing in recent months. I think my framing is much better now than it used to be. And I think you can learn from that as well. It used to be really horrible, quite frankly. But, we learn as we go. We grow as we learn. And there you go. All right. That's episode number 9 of the Going Live with Christoph Trapp podcast. Please check out the book. It is indeed available on Amazon. Truly appreciate you guys. Until next time.